Hello there, you guys. One more video for you in this outfit. Today we're going to be talking about vibrato. So here's an easy little vibrato practice if you're kind of struggling with it. Everyone's hand is a little bit different. I am by no means an expert with vibrato. My fingers are really rigid. They don't like to vibrato. I often press too hard. All sorts of things. I don't practice it enough. Anyway, so here's my little trick for vibrato. Fingers in the air, thumb and first finger are across from each other, and you're gonna squeeze and then you're gonna relax. In the relaxed position, that's where we're gonna use the arm to bring the fingers up and down. So this is our widest range of motion. By the way, you can stabilize your instrument if you want by holding it here. We're gonna cut this in half, so I'm not going up all the way. I'm using my arm to gauge that, just come up halfway. And then I'm going to cut that in half. So now it's just a quarter. I'm just barely moving it all. I'm going to go a little faster, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, until I start to kind of stay on one spot. So you'll kind of find when you get faster and faster that it kind of naturally becomes a little more narrow and you kind of get stuck on a place. So if I take my thumb away, you can kind of see it's just kind of wiggling. I'm going to bring my thumb along. And then I'm going to just lightly drop my first finger on the string. So if you press down, it's hard for your finger to wobble. Let me just get a little closer for you. So you can see with vibrato, the key is that this little movement, whether it's from the wrist or the arm, is that it transfers to the fingertip. And the only way that it can do that, the only way that your finger can actually receive that small, tiny movement is if your finger is able to respond to that movement by being very relaxed and not pressing too much. Because you see, if I press down, now I can't move at all. So I'm going to be half my normal weight on the string for this little practice. I'm going to keep my arm moving. And you can see how my finger, it's not out here like this. It's actually on the side of the violin or the viola, but it's not squeezing. It's just relaxed. So it is hitting the side of the instrument neck there. The second finger comes along for the ride. Keep that little wiggle going. And you can see this last little joint is getting the movement from my arm. It's transferring from my arm all the way through the hand, all the way to that little fingertip there. Third finger. This finger for me is a little bit more rigid. Fourth finger. Just keep your arm moving. Now here's the key. I'm going to have you try to keep your fingers not down on the string, but kind of hovering, kind of in lazy person mode. Kind of hovering. My third finger is down, but my second and first finger aren't really down. I'm going to lift the fourth finger and third finger is there. Now I'm going to get my second finger ready to go. I'm going to lift the third finger. And now first finger, I'm going to lift the second finger. And the trick is now putting the fingers back. So if your fingers are back here, it's really hard to get them there. So bring them closer and throw them down. So my third finger needs to come a little closer. Fourth finger needs to come a little closer. So one of the keys with vibrato is that you don't want your fingers to be flying away. You want them to kind of be near the fingerboard so that they can just kind of get there. And you also, when you practice vibrato, want your hand to be very relaxed and your fingers to not be pressing on the strings too much. And so a really great next step is to then do a little Sevchik practice if you can. So like Sevchik Opus 1. Here's an example of something you might find in Sevchik Opus 1. So just repeating a pattern just over and over again. And try to get your finger going. And maybe you'll have a combination with 1, 2, and 3. Just over and over. Maybe 2, 3, 4. So the thing is with Sevchik, we usually practice Sevchik for speed and like muscle strengthening exercises. But since they just repeat over and over that same measure, and you get to just kind of do some detail work with certain finger combinations, it's also a really great way to practice vibrato, just as a little mini warm-up. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Happy vibratoing. Just keep up a little daily practice with vibrato, just a little wiggle. Remind the fingers, oh, that's what I've got to do, or I'm pressing too much, or whatever it is. If I can vibrato and I have a really hard time with vibrato, then you can vibrato as well. I promise you, if I can do it, then you can definitely do it. With that, you guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you very soon.